And I think it's really about us realizing who we are, including our limitations. We have great instruments. Brain is one of the greatest instruments on the planet. And because of that, we have expanded, accelerated our evolution. And then while we're building stuff around, launching rockets, building computers, satellite networks, all of that, the remaining question, the essential question is, how well do we care about our human evolution? How well do we understand our own deep nature? And when I recently speak about the people from really great minds developing mobile apps, developing new enterprises, and artificial intelligence, including all the mastery, how we can deploy and exploit technology for our own benefit, we have become the masters of writing the requirements for algorithms, for computers, for programs. And the question that came to my mind very recently, how good we are about writing human requirements, because we can build artificial intelligence to improve or to accelerate or to get an output much faster or at a bigger capacity comparing to a human being. But if we are giving poor instructions, poor requirements of what we would like it to do for us, then the result will be also poor. So it's the question how well we can understand what really works for us and then instruct our technologies and beautifully design products and services and experiences so that we could amplify using technologies. And maybe to conclude this introduction, I would say, let's be aware of our limitations. So we have predominantly 5 senses, and this is how we see the world. And that's why we see the world of 4 dimensions, 3 spatial and 1 time. But if the question is there anything else? We are not sure. And of course, we need to explore more. And then currently, the scientists that are speaking about the physics of consciousness, they're going beyond these dimensions. And the other real reminder about our limitations is that how our brains work. So this is pretty much a mass in our heads. And it does this biochemical neurotransmission and all of this signaling, and we are trying to grasp how does it actually work, and we are not there yet to understand fully. Therefore, speaking about artificial intelligence is a little bit too early. In any case, if that's our source of reality, then we definitely can comprehend it's limited. It has great capacity to imagine, great capacity to think and create, but still within the certain limitations. So therefore, let's be mindful, let's be open-minded, and let's accept our lives that they have certain limitations, and then work with that perspective and expand all the possible ways that we can using our own energies, our own passion, and also the technologies around. When I look at the organizational context, and that's natural that we have these examples of people burning out. And illusion or delusion, from my perspective, is that people burn out because of hard work, too much of work, or too little balance between the work and the rest. Let me propose this hypothesis. It's all about our human energetic intelligence, because the first law of thermodynamics says that you cannot create and you cannot destroy the energy. And if you have that mindset and that clarity that people are not accumulators of energies, but only the converters. So we have the access of the energies that comes from our biology, from our food, and from our thoughts. And then we have access to the energies around. Sunlight, different kind of other natural resources, and our equipment and tools around us. And therefore, we cannot create extra energy by the law. It's just that we are able to convert some of the energies accessible to us into the result. And if we have that flip in our mindset, then instead of having coffee to create more energy for us, we would think about whether the coffee is making us a better converters of the energy or better transformers of the energy. And one practical example would be this. If people are coming to work, but for any reason they are disliking it, or a particular task, or a particular people, or a particular conditions, but they don't want to express it. So they need to wear a mask. They need to pretend. They need to say, yes, I like this place. I like these people. Instead, if they don't feel alignment, they are wearing the mask. What does it mean from the perspective of energy? They need some energy to maintain the mask. So they arrive to the work with 100%. And if they think, okay, but then now I need to be careful. I need to think what I say. I need to be here and there at particular times. It all takes your accessible energy, and you cannot convert it into the result, and your result goes down. And to maintain the level of result, you need to get more time or to spend more effort into that. And therefore, it turns out that if you have this misalignment between yourself and your exposure and your interrelationship with the life and interaction with other people, and you're wearing these masks, and if the distance gets bigger between your feeling and the reality and your interaction, then you burn out quicker. That's how it works, and this is how I realized, just by taking the basic law of energies from the physics and applying to what we experience as a people in our life. So therefore, one fundamental of the 8 components of transformation, if we speak about transformation science, so I have 8 components, and component number 1 is human energetic intelligence. And we are not accumulators. We cannot accumulate, but we can get better at transforming it. We can improve our transformation algorithms. And this is how we learn, this is how we expand, this is how we acquire experience. And if we are sincere with ourselves and we listen to ourselves and we are honest with ourselves, we will always be getting better and we will improve our conversion algorithms. And this is the way how to avoid a large majority of complications in people's lives at work and elsewhere. We need not to misinterpret happiness as being a state of doing nothing. And I think this is kind of popular delusion, right? So if I had all the money all the time and I would do whatever I want, so most likely if people actually get to that state, they don't know what they want to do. So therefore, yes, the fulfillment comes from your journey and your experience of evolving. So you are evolving and then in alignment with what is more natural for your being. And this is the only way to uncover that is to be truthful to yourself. Listen to yourself, listen to your instincts, listen to all of your signaling from your intelligent supermind. One practical thing I would like to mention at this point, which would be very essential for individuals and also organizations. People tend to perceive transformation or bigger changes as difficult, impossible, challenging. I've tried and never succeeded. Nobody else have done it, so I most likely fail as well. So those mindsets, what do? Those are intellectual concepts, first of all, and what they are doing, they are silencing something in our body, something in our super intelligent subconsciousness. And that's something, what I'm referring to, I call in my work, which is in this 8 concepts, is the second concept after human energetic intelligence. The second is transformation gene. I don't speak about biological combination of the letters in the DNA. What I'm speaking about is the inevitable wisdom that our body knows about the change, because the body changes all the time. The evolution of the body has experienced all the thousands of years of evolution. So it cannot be otherwise that we have inbuilt wisdom. And the only barrier that remains in our modern life is what we tell to ourselves about our ability. And that's why I sometimes refer to transformation in its simplest form is changing one thought to a different thought. And what I usually exemplify is this. So if this blue pen is a thought, I cannot do it. For example, oh, I cannot stop drinking coffee. And it's here. As long as it sits here, your behavior will be in compliance with this thought. And another delusion is if people think this is, I cannot start my day without a coffee, and they think, oh, I will try another idea, and that's another idea, and they say, oh, this will be, I will try to start my day without a coffee. And they try to kind of place it in your head and live with these two and see how does it play. What happens, again, referring to the first point, energetic intelligence. If you have the rivalry between these two, you drain your energy and your energy goes down. And in the end, what decision you make? You give up. Therefore, for the transformation to successful, this thought that you have in your head, you want to remove. The other one has to be the complete opposite, which means I cannot start my day without a coffee. I can't start the day without the coffee. So it has to be, because they cannot be simultaneously in your mind. So it has to happen this. And this is the remaining of my work, is about how to make this transformation. Is just like replacing one thought with another. And therefore, if this is the first step towards the realization that you have the power to change one thought with another, that activates your transformation gene. Because before that, if you say, I don't have the power, I don't have the energy, I don't have the knowledge, I cannot, you're kind of silencing it. It comes from epigenetics. So epigenetics was the science which in the last 2 decades said, it's not the DNA, it's how the environment and your decisions are activating or silencing some of the genes. And I was, and nobody knows the transformation. It's just about the gene is silenced and we need to help people activating. And this is the first step into the activating the transformation gene. So therefore, regardless of what people might think today with their performance, individually, organizationally, there are multiple ways and simple tools that everyone can start using already today. What people essentially would be really happy to achieve. Maybe one of the words how to describe it is hyper performance. And that's kind of a buzzword in the organizational setting, also in the societal and also for individuals. So everyone would like to kind of accelerate their performance. So therefore, where are the only barriers? In here. Because if we have in the office 2 people with the same education, with the same possibly school, degrees, diplomas, similar access to the other resources, but different outcomes, it's obvious. It's even obvious for non-scientists. If there are equal, same conditions, but there is a different outcome, there has to be something inside. And this is what I refer to as this ability to convert the energies and master the energies. And if we remove the barriers, and the only barriers are these thoughts, and getting better at mastering this transformation for ourselves is the first step and the essential step towards hyper performance. And that's how it is. The simplicity is the biggest threat for the biases. Biases uses foggy understanding, uses the convention, uses the other people's fear and their own fear just to maintain itself. And I think this is what we are doing as the professionals, as the experts into helping others really reach to their long desired goals. And everyone wants a better life, more fulfilling life, and happier life. And we are just shining light onto these specific hidden chambers in their biases and saying, no, it's much more simpler. Why I'm so confident? I've been doing transformations of my own, my personal transformations, some of them unconsciously many years ago. But I've learned one basic ingredient in our experience is once you having this feeling of getting a certain transformation to your life and start practicing it, you see how all of your unconscious access to the universe is helping you. And then you tap into it and you experience that. And once you get this first experience, it's so enjoyable that you long for more. And then you try it any next time. I don't say you have to rush into it. I think the first thing is to reconsider and be open. Start to open it slowly. Start with the small things. I can tell you one of the recent things that I have changed. Because of the restrictions and spending more time at home, I do brush my teeth after every meal, which I didn't do when I went to work. So after lunch, I didn't do it. I used a chewing gum. But other thing, which was more profound, I started to floss my teeth, which was the most difficult thing for me to imagine. flossing my teeth. Of course, for many people, it's like a basic hygiene. But for me, it wasn't. And now it is. It arrived to my life like that. And of course, there has to be a good tool. There has to be good flossing. But the rest of the resistance or the bias was over here. And I can tell you very practically, most likely, I cannot recall it anymore. Our brains are super smart to erase the reasons that were living there before. But I assume that if somebody would ask me, why don't you do it? The honest answer would be, it's difficult, but that would be also just an overlay over, I haven't tried and I don't want to, which would be the most honest answer. And I've done it with alcohol consumption. I've done it with, which is currently 0. I've done it with the weight management of different kinds, doing sports and also regulating what I eat. And what is the most recent one is this intermittent fasting, which means 6 hours of eating and 18 hours of not. And again, if you think rationally, 6 hours, 18 hours, 18 hours, and it kind of looks already too difficult. But then you start trying it, you see how your body works. I'm not suggesting which is the right or the wrong, but the main idea is you cannot really know the experience if you haven't tried. But of course, you have to try only after the guidance from people that are really good experts in that. It applies to everything. You want to learn a snowboard, you go to a snowboard expert. You want to change something in your life, want to transform, you go to the transformation expert. Anytime, if anyone is interested to see where the transformation science and practice is connected and accumulated online, so that's my website, transforms.me. Anyone welcome anytime. Talks, scientific literature. You can submit your behavioral challenge over there and explore and experience how that all of the collection of the knowledge and wisdom would be applicable for your particular life and moment in life and your desired changes.